What if I told you a whale saved a woman's life in the most unexpected way? And even more astonishing, it came back to see her a year later. This is a story you won't believe. One day in the South Pacific, an astonishing event took place near Rarotonga Island in the Cook Islands. A woman was attacked by a humpback whale. The enormous creature hurled her meters into the air with its head and dragged her underwater with its fins. She thought her life was over. But what the whale did next was so incredible you wouldn't believe it. Whales are among the most gigantic and impressive creatures on Earth. They have fascinated people with their size, intelligence, and social behavior. Despite living in the sea, whales share many characteristics with humans, such as complex communication skills. This interest in these gigantic creatures was also a great passion for Australian marine biologist Nan Hauser. With her admiration for these fascinating sea giants, Hauser worked hard to understand their world more closely. Even as a child, Nan was fascinated by the endless blue landscape and depths of the ocean. Her love for the ocean was so strong that she decided to pursue a career in marine biology at a young age. As soon as she learned to swim, she started spending most of her time at the beach. Her grandmother often told her, "Be careful, don't get swallowed by a whale." Nan always met these words with a smile. Nan's passion for the ocean and the creatures within it came as no surprise to her family when she wanted to study marine biology. She studied in this field at university and dedicated her career to studying marine animals, especially whales and dolphins. She has made countless dives in the Cook Islands and the Bahamas for 30 years and has become a recognized expert in her field. One bright, sunny afternoon, off the coast of the Cook Islands, Nan was on a boat filming a documentary about whales. As they neared the end of the shoot, the director asked Nan if she could get in the water to get some footage. Although Nan was tired, she did not refuse the director's offer and entered the water. After moving a little away from the boat, she noticed a dark shadow in the distance. When she looked more closely, she saw a humpback whale rapidly approaching her. The whale was about to hit Nan when she stopped and raised her hand. She put her hand on her head, and the whale started pushing Nan. Nan was astonished. She had been underwater with whales for 30 years and had been studying these gigantic creatures for years. It was the first time in her life that she had encountered such behavior. Nan knew she could easily be killed by this whale. She didn't take her eyes off it because its fin or tail could hit her. She was trying to stay away from this gigantic whale. The whale was doing the opposite. The more Nan tried to move away, the closer it got. There was something wrong with this. Nan knew this was their backyard and she was trying to be very careful. But the more the woman tried to move away, the closer the whale got. Suddenly, the humpback whale lifted its fin and took Nan under it. Nan was in great pain. The razor-sharp muscles and shellfish attached to the whale's body were cutting her. Worse, she was wearing a snorkel mask and could drown. At that moment, her grandmother's words, "Be careful, don't get swallowed by a whale," echoed in her ears. She thought she was going to be swallowed by a whale. Nan was trying to surface by flapping, but each attempt ended in failure. The giant whale was pulling the woman further underwater. Then the whale took the woman out from under its fin and suddenly brought her to the surface, and it pulled the woman underwater again. She could tell the whale was getting angry. Nan was trying to stay as calm as she could, but she wasn't very hopeful that she would survive this moment. Even though she tried to convince herself and calm down, she couldn't get rid of the fear and thought that the whale was trying to kill her. But because she was a professional, she tried to keep her composure despite everything. While trying to understand the whale's meaningless behavior and act accordingly, she made eye contact with the humpback whale for a moment. The whale was trying to say something. Its eyes were so wide, it was as if it had seen a ghost. Nan realized that something was bothering the whale at that moment, but she didn't know what it was. A very short time later, the whale moved a little away from Nan and started spinning around itself. It was literally slapping the water with its tail. Nan was in shock and fear now. She couldn't make sense of the whale's behavior. When the woman raised her head, she saw another whale next to the whale that attacked her. This shockingly large animal was swimming rapidly towards the woman. The woman, who had been tossed around by the whale for 10 minutes, was in shock and couldn't fully understand what was coming at her. At first, she thought it was another whale, but when she pulled herself together and looked carefully, she saw that its tail was moving left and right, not up and down. The animal she was about to come face to face with was not a whale, it was a tiger shark. Throughout her diving life, that shark was the biggest shark she had ever seen. It was almost the size of a truck. That's when she started to panic. She was sure she would be torn to pieces by this gigantic predator. As far as she was concerned, there was no way out of this. Tiger sharks are among the deadliest sharks in the world after the great white shark. While most sharks only take one bite to decide if their victims are worth eating, tiger sharks are known for their insatiable appetites and particular aggression towards humans. Their jaws are also so powerful that they can easily crush even sea turtles, known for their hard shells and other challenging prey. This is every diver's biggest nightmare. Nan was facing the biggest tiger shark she had ever seen, and this gigantic creature was attacking her directly. Just as the shark she was facing was about to attack Nan, the whale came from behind, took the woman on its head, and threw her behind the boat as fast as it could. Nan, who fell back into the water after gliding in the air, immediately swam towards the boat and climbed up. The breathless woman took a deep breath with the joy and astonishment of being saved. At that moment, she realized that the whale was not attacking her. It was trying to protect and save her from the shark. And it had succeeded. A whale had saved Nan. As the whale set off for the depths of the ocean, Nan shouted after it with tears in her eyes, "I'm sorry, I love you too. I love you too. I'm telling you again, I love you." The whale set off for the open sea and disappeared from sight. But the story didn't end there. 1 year and 15 days later, while Nan was doing research on her boat in the open ocean, a fisherman said on the radio that there was a whale off the coast of the harbor. Nan had been looking for the whale that saved her life for a year. Almost every day she went out to the ocean hoping to see her lifesaver again. She quickly set off for the given coordinates. When she arrived where the whale was seen, there was indeed a humpback whale there. Was it the humpback whale that saved her life? As she approached the whale, she saw a scar on its head. There were also 2 notches on its tail. Nan recognized it. It was indeed him. He had returned. According to Nan's research, only 2 whales had returned to the waters where she was in 20 years. For her, it was impossible for the whale that saved her life to return, by the nature of whales. The whale ignored everyone else on the boat and looked directly at her. Nan was screaming with joy and tears. Without waiting, she jumped into the water, reached out to him, held on, and hugged him. The whale was moving its head on Nan's belly. Everyone on the boat was in tears. It was a magnificent moment. They stood there for 20 minutes, hugging each other and making up for lost time. After Nan said goodbye, she shouted after him, "I love you, thank you," like the farewell she had given him in their first encounter. Nan describes what she experienced at that moment as follows. "If someone told me this story, I wouldn't believe them. A whale saving a human from a shark and then coming to visit her a year later is unheard of. This is crazy. I can't name the emotions I felt during the last encounter, but I can say I was very surprised. I felt love and happiness at that moment. I can say that he will always be a part of me and will always be on my mind. I hope to see him again one day because I really miss him." I don't know if anyone would believe this. Just like it was very difficult for me to believe that he came back once. I miss him. I really believe I will see him again one day. If this incredible story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.